Activism, a doctrine or practice that emphasizes direct, vigorous action, especially in support of or opposition to one side of a controversial issue. Hi guys, my name's Alex Wessel, and as you know, I've been in your class all semester. I sit right up front, right over there. Anyway, for my activist project, I decided to do something that I found very personal to me this semester. Earlier in the year, I wrote a paper on the Don't Ask, Don't Tell Repeal Act. I found that there was a ton of gender discrimination within the military, and I was not okay with it. So I met with Dr. Brown, and she led me in the way to a senator in New York, Kirsten Gillibrand, who is working on sexual assault and gender discrimination in the military. Recently, she proposed a bill, the Military Justice Impairment Act, to stop sexual assault and gender discrimination within the military. Right now, within the military justice system, commanders have the final say of whether an act is sexual assault or gender discrimination. This means if someone is discriminated because of their gender, or someone was sexually assaulted, they have to report this case to their commander, and the commander says whether or not it's worthy enough to go to court. A lot of these offenders of these sexual assault cases and gender discrimination cases in the military are the commanders. The commanders are the offenders. So you're supposed to report your sexual assault to your offender? That doesn't seem very fair at all, and it's not justice. So Kirsten Gillibrand and the Military Justice Impairment Act takes away the power from commanders to determine whether something is sexual assault or not, and gives it to outside, unbiased lawyers to determine whether a case is sexual assault or gender discrimination, and whether it should be taken to court and trial. This is justice, and this is what needs to happen.
I'd like to speak on my amendment, but not call it up at this moment. It's amendment number 1578, and the purpose of the amendment is to create an unbiased military justice system. I believe the Senate needs to vote on this amendment. Over the last few years, Congress has forced the military to make incremental changes to address the crisis of sexual assault. After 2 decades of complete failure and lip service to zero tolerance, the military now says, essentially, trust us, we've got it this time. They spin the data, hoping nobody will dig below the surface of their top lines, because when you do, you will find that the assault rate is exactly where it was in 2010. We see an average of 52 new cases every day. 3 out of 4 service members who are survivors still don't think it's worth the risk of coming forward to report these crimes committed against them. 1 in 7 victims was actually assaulted by someone in their chain of command. And 60% of cases, the survivor says a unit leader or supervisor is responsible for sexual harassment or gender discrimination. So it's no surprise then that 1 in 3 survivors believe that reporting would hurt their career.
For my activist project, I decided to participate in a letter writing campaign. I constructed letters to senators from all different states, encouraging them to support the Military Justice Impairment Act. I decided to get my FYS class involved, so I taught them a lecture all about sexual assault and gender discrimination in the military, and we sent letters to all of their senators.
Rather be, I would away forever, exalted in the sea, as long as I am with you, my heart continues to beat. With every step we take, Kyoto to the bay, strolling.
When I taught class, I showed them a lot of different survivor videos and their stories of sexual assault and gender discrimination in the military.
It's the middle of the night. People start leaving. Then it was just me and this other guy. We kept arguing about females being in the military. It eventually started to get physical. And then the next thing I know, this guy pushed and I was on the ground, like in an instant. I came up and when I came back down, my head was just slammed like so hard into the concrete. And then there was incredible pain, so much pain. I could feel him on top of me. He wanted to have me in a sexual manner. I became absolutely petrified. he was going to kill me. Before I know it, I was up on his shoulders and he was taking me to dumpster. He was like, so women don't belong in combat, women don't belong in the military. You're all trash. All women are trash, and that's where you belong. And he threw me in a dumpster.
My FYS class was super thrilled, and they loved participating in something that could actually make a difference. After talking about it so much, considering I'm really passionate about it, my family, friends, soccer teammates, and even faculty and staff of Shenandoah listened to my lectures and got involved in my letter writing campaign. I had 49 people participate in my letter writing campaign. That means 98 letters were printed and signed.
Everlasting, so nothing's incomplete. It's easy being with you. Sacred simplicity.
After sorting out all of these letters by senator and state, I had to put them all in envelopes and mail them to each senator's office. I sent letters to senators in Alaska, North Carolina, Vermont, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. I asked some of the participants in my letter writing campaign to send me a video about what they learned, why they found it interesting, and why they participated in the letter writing campaign. And here are some of the answers I received.
My dad has been in the Air Force for 20 years and I never heard of any of this happening. I didn't think that it was that big of a problem. But after watching this presentation, I've realized that it actually is a problem that a lot of people don't really know about. And I think that it's great that people are signing these papers and trying to get this to be fixed because it actually is a really bad problem.
I believe that gender discrimination and sexual assault in the military is something that this country needs to stop. Through this, I learned that commanders take the time to decide whether or not that the sexual assault cases are true and go to court, and I don't think that's right at all. I think that the court system should have a say in that. Through this letter writing campaign, I was happy to participate and be able to make a small difference in how my senator sees this country.
I signed this letter because I think there needs to be a change in the military justice system. I think that females have proven themselves in combat, so they should also be allowed to stay there. And I also think that there needs to be a change in gender discrimination and sexual assault in the military.
Until Alex informed me of the sexual assault and military and gender discrimination, I was never aware of how big a problem it was. I don't believe that commanders should be the ones to make decisions whether somebody's being discriminated against because of their gender or because they're raped. I think this should all be done by a jury of their peers or a group of people that makes that decision. I'm glad I got to participate in this letter writing campaign that Alex is standing behind, because it'll send a positive message to senators to get them on board to try to pass this act. I believe that there needs to be a bigger push for females in the military. Hopefully our senators and congressmen will agree with us as we send this petition forward.
So my boyfriend's in the military and he's in the Air Force, and after learning about this in my FYS class, it really hit home for me, because if he was ever discriminated against or sexually abused or violated even, I wouldn't want just a commander dismissing the case because he's a male to keep it on down low. I think it's very important that these things need to be addressed in a professional manner, and so that is why I support this letter writing campaign.
During this activist project, I wanted to inform people of gender discrimination and sexual assault within the military. I also wanted them to get involved and show them that they can make a difference by just sending a letter to a senator and telling them, hey, I support this, and I think you should too. After the results that I got from just a few of my participants in the letter writing campaign, I think I got my point across, and I'm super excited to see if any of the senators will write letters back to their participants of my letter writing campaign. And most of all, I hope I hear from Kirsten Gillibrand, and I hope to see that the Military Justice Impairment Act can be passed within the Senate and will be enacted in the United States military's justice system soon. Thank you all for listening to my activist project today. I hope I inspired you, or maybe even informed you more, of gender discrimination and sexual assault within the military. This is a problem that will be fixed with the help of Kirsten Gillibrand and 53 senators that already support it out of 100. Hopefully this bill will be passed soon. And I really hope that my letter writing campaign, even as small as it was, only 49 people, can make an impact on some of these senators and help them vote for the Military Justice Impairment Act so we can stop sexual assault and gender discrimination within the military. Thank you all and have a great day. What am I saying? Oh my god. What am I saying?
I believe that gender discrimination.
Not ready. I can't do this.
I signed this letter. Okay, wait.
The